Hi, hello, welcome to my review of this new Peter Fox album, Love Songs. I initially did not plan on making music reviews on this channel, but yesterday I just felt so obligated to do so because I showed this to someone and I've been listening to this album every day basically right now just because it's something new. Yeah, every day I seem to enjoy it a little more and I just felt like I need to talk about this in some way. Be prepared that I don't have a lot of knowledge about music, to be honest. I can only speak from my personal opinion from to what I think about this music. Sometimes when I hear an album is amazing and a 10 out of 10 and just a classic and I listen to it and I just think it's boring, I don't really know how to rate music that I just simply am not really interested in. So yeah, this is a highly subjective review of this album. But yeah, you can still listen to me, I guess, if you are interested. So Peter Fox is a German artist from Berlin and one of my favorite musicians ever. I know him from one album that he made and in my opinion the only 10 out of 10 album that I know, which is his 2008 album Stadtaffe, a great album about a lot of topics from environmental topics to love and in general just humanity and how bad humanity can sometimes be. And all these songs have instrumentals of a live orchestra, which is just so great because it makes these songs really timeless because none of the instrumentals feel outdated in any way. And the messages obviously not either. The big start in music that Peter Fox had was with the band Seed. It's a German band that has a lot of members from many different countries. They've been making reggae and dancehall and hip-hop music for a long time now. With that they made 5 albums and every single album is a banger. New Derby Conquerors, Music Monks, Next, Seed and Bam Bam were all amazing albums. But after Stadtaffe, Peter Fox seemed like he was not making any solo music ever again. But I was proven wrong when he came out with Zukunft Pink, in English Future Pink, his first single since 2008 and a single that I was just blown away by. When the single came out, it kind of felt like a celebration. Everybody basically was happy about it. Everybody was happy that Peter Fox was making music again. Everybody was happy with the song in general. Like, this is just such a good song. It's a dancehall song with a good message of basically looking very optimistically into the future. It is therefore also a great contrast to all the music he's been making before. Again, his older album is very pessimistic in a way and this is very optimistic. Also, basically everything of Love Songs is very optimistic or much more optimistic than everything he's been making before. And this has a very great instrumental, a catchy hook that I've been singing since it came out. It's just such a great song that I just loved hearing. I wasn't really sure if this style was that exciting and if he could be making a lot more songs with this style that would sound unique. But again, he's been proving me wrong because he's been doing that for this whole album. The next single that he came out with is called Vergessen Wie, in English Forgotten How. It starts out much slower. It's a song about looking back on a very nostalgic time where everything was basically a much more easy. He remembers the time where he was partying all day, where everybody was just living a very uncomplicated lifestyle, whereas in now everybody is at home, nobody is really doing anything with each other anymore, and it's kind of it seems like this is a song that fits very well into the context of COVID and how that affected everybody. But the second half of the song is just much quicker and much more fast paced, much more upbeat also, because it's this transition of, at least it seems like that, COVID ending and everybody is able to go out again, everybody can meet up with each other again, everybody can have this nice lifestyle again. And I mean, it's not specifically applying to COVID, but it just fits the time definitely. So you can look at it from multiple angles. But again, this is another very good song. His next song is Weiße Fahnen, a single that I found to be mostly okay. It's a very nice track. It's about peace and love and it's not too outstanding. It's pretty simple and it basically does everything right that it needs to. Like, it's a very good listenable song. And the last single that he came out with is Ein Auge Blau. This is the single that I was not really a fan of. It grew on me a lot more, especially in the context with the album, but on the first listen I was just not as impressed by it. It's much more personal about Peter Fox himself and him kind of trying to stand back up again, even though he's been broken down a lot of times. But it's a kind of motivational song in that sense that he tries to always get back up again and stay motivated. And those 4 singles are all leading up to this new album. Love Songs is a dancehall album and it's again great. I think it's super interesting that this album is much different than anything he's been doing before, at least as a solo artist. The last album again had a lot of orchestral music and was very epic, very pessimistic in a way. Like, there's only a few songs that are actually like happy on that album, and this song is basically Peter Fox doing a very optimistic summer vibes happy album, and he does it very well. It's also very similar to the things that he's been doing besides Seed, and that is the music that he does with Wiki Deeds. This is a duo of Peter Fox and Sway Clark. They've also been doing a lot of songs and they are all also great. So if you like the songs that are on this album, album, you should also check these two out, because songs like Yoranda, Passion Flute, or Flex Upon You, they are all great, and I really love listening to them. But in general, it just feels like Peter Fox has this sense that we are not getting enough happy messages after this hard time that we all went through during the COVID pandemic, and so he's just kind of making this happy album that has a lot of replay value because of its very creative and also poetic lyrics in a way, and I think that's a great thing. Now, as for all the other songs that I haven't talked about yet, the first song on the album is Ein Auge Blau, and the next one is a new song, Tough Cookie. It's a very fun love song that is kind of similar to another song that he has on his album Stadtaffe. That song is called Schüttel dein Speck. It's a kind of fun, flirty love song that with a lot of creative lyrics, and that's basically what Tough Cookie is also. And his next song, Kein Regen in Dubai, which means in English, No Rain in Dubai, is I think the saddest song on this whole album actually. It's not pessimistic, but it's just melancholic. It's about a very lonely rich person who lives in Dubai and who kind of longs for being home again because his mother is calling, I think, and she's telling him how it's snowing back home, and in Dubai he's not even getting rain. So it's just this very lonely picture of this person who is just not in the fitting place that he wants to be in. A very beautiful song still, but definitely the saddest song on this album. Disney is another love song, but this song is kind of like Peter Fox is on drugs, and he's kind of describing all of these very weird visions that he has, and everything is so colorful and fun, and it's a very beautiful song, but it's very weird to get into the lyrics, in my opinion. Even more difficult, in my opinion, was the song Celebration, which is, in my opinion, the most difficult song to figure out of all of these songs. Because I really didn't know really what this was about at all. It definitely sounds beautiful, especially the beat switch at the end. It really feels like a celebration, and apparently it's about Demba Nabe, who was one of the front singers in Seed, and he died in 2018, and this is basically a tribute to him. And it's a very beautiful song, but I could not really figure out that it was about him, to be honest. After Vergessen Wie, we get two songs that really feel like one, because one of them is the build up to the next song. The first one is Dawn of the Dawn, and it's called Dawn of the Dawn because in the next song he's kind of describing this whole world as being very apocalyptic, and he's basically the only normal person in his environment, and he's describing this world as being like in Dawn of the Dead. And so the build-up song to this song Gegengift, which means antidote, is called Dawn of the Dawn because it's basically the build up to Dawn of the Dead, which is a fun idea. And I really thought that this was just one song when I listened to this without looking at all the titles of the different tracks, because the 1.5 minute song Dawn of the Dawn is just such a perfect build up to Gegengift. It actually feels like it's not as satisfying to listen to Gegengift when you don't have this build up of Dawn of the Dawn, which is great. I mean, Gegengift in itself is a great song, but it feels much more earned when you actually listen to this full album and you have this build up to this song, and I think that's great. After that we have again Weiße Farm, which is a good song obviously, and then the last new track that wasn't already a single before is Toscana Fanboys. It's a very perfectly sounding track with an Italian singer called Adriano Celentano. This song just sounds so authentically Italian. I don't know much about Italian music, I don't have a lot of experience, but this sounds like it's very authentic, and it sounds perfect. It's a great fun summer song that I could just listen to any day. After that, the closing track is Zukunft Pink, which was the first single that was released to this album, and also the last song that we hear from this album. It kind of ends this album on a very positive message again. Zukunft Pink, Future Pink, it's kind of looking at the future in a very bright and positive way, and kind of telling people to make the best out of it, even if things not always go well for you. Definitely a very good way to end this album on a very positive note. And I did not expect to be as blown away by this album as I was. Again, Ein Auge Blau, for example, and Disney are songs that kind of needed a few more listens to me to actually get invested in them and to enjoy them a lot more. But after some time, I basically love every single song as much as I possibly can. And so this very short, half an hour long album is just a perfect fun listen. Again, it gives perfect summer vibes. I can imagine that I'm getting a lot of nostalgia in a few years when I think back on this summer when I will listen to this album a lot, because again, every single song of this album is just so perfect. It's very happy, but not in a overly happy way that it just kind of gets annoying. For example, it's a completely different example, but when I listen to a Logic song, it's a different way of telling people how to be positive and how to use their positive energy. And with someone like Logic, it kind of gets annoying after some time, but this just doesn't get annoying. This is exactly how I want it, and I absolutely love it. I don't want to say it's better than Stadtaffe. I don't want to compare these two because they are so vastly different, not just in their styles but also in their themes. Again, one of them is much more dramatic and pessimistic again, and the other one is much more happy, and also the genres are so different from each other, so they are really not comparable. But Stadtaffe was a 10 out of 10 definitely for me. I love every single second of that album. And this one, I don't know how to rank albums. I don't know much about music, but if I listen to this album, I don't think I would have a different rating for this than a 10. So if I'm making more album reviews in the future, which I don't know if I will, but if there's an album that I feel like I need to talk about, I will probably do that. But the standard is pretty high for these reviews because I'm instantly starting out my first album review ever with a 10 out of 10 because this is such an amazing album. I love every second of it. I don't know what else to say. Thank you for watching, definitely, and yeah, just listen to this. Please listen to Peter Fox, listen to his older album, also listen to Seed, listen to Ricky Deeds, listen to all of these things that Peter Fox has been involved in, because to me, he's one of the best creative voices in music ever, and I'm looking forward to the next thing that he does. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.